All right, so today's adventures are leading us to the beautiful Hollywood Beach, Florida area. As I'm flying over, I'm gonna try my best to stay out of the nude area because I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? We ain't trying to see no itties and bitties, and you get it. But either way, that's the goal today. Just going down to fly around. I'm also going to be able to share some different photography tips and not just from the drone, but also I have a Sony A7R5 and different lenses, your classy 24 to 70, 70 to 200, and I have a 200 to 600 millimeter lens plus a 2x teleconverter. I'm cool. So we're going to head down here now, be down there for pretty much maybe 3 hours, 4 hours like that. We're gonna fly around, we're gonna take pictures, and maybe, just maybe we might take some pictures of strangers if they let us. You know how that go. I have to say, man, one thing about flying a drone that's pretty exhilarating is the things that you are able to see, especially, being out on the water. It can kind of start to kind of feel like the same. It can kind of start like getting boring unless you're creative in what you do. Like showing the actual, it's one thing to fly a drone and you fly it above things, but it's like try to chase some action, try to show what that looks like when you're flying close to the sand. Try to show that look of how fast the water's moving, hover right over the water, hover close to the water, like different things like that. Now remember, if I'm saying hover close to the water, that means it's gonna look like on your screen that I'm super close to the water. That's because on a Air 3S, you're able to tilt that camera up and down. So you're able to give the perception that you're closer to something or closer to a subject. Hey, my mail lady. It's something that you're closer to than you are, right? That perception that you're closer. But the goal is never to dip your drone in the water. Plus with the beautiful proximity sensors on the bottom, on the sides, the LiDAR on the front, you know what I'm saying? And the back, it's amazing. You can even, when you're on your RC2 controller, you can even tap into seeing those sensors, right? Because technically it's just like Tesla's proximity sensors, if you will. They use the cameras on the car too, right? In order to see what's there or how close you are. And I believe wholeheartedly that they have it built within these systems, to know how far those propellers are from that thing you're close to. So it's pretty cool technology, but it's like when you're flying your drone, try to make it exhilarating for yourself. Try to make it where it's like extremely cool. You feel me? I mean, as far as the eye can see, check this out. Beautiful ocean out there, man. I mean, as far as the eye can freaking see, Look at that. Not too heavily populated. Awesome scenery. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. When you're getting set up, I recommend anybody, if you can, buy these prop guards right here. Basically covers your props, kind of help them keep them in place. So when you're in a windy environment such as South Florida, like I am, right? So like when you open your props here, I'm gonna show you something. If I can catch it, I don't know. But when you're down here, it probably won't do it, but it's so windy. Sometimes it's so windy that it'll catch your props and start spinning them even while they're on the body because of the wind is so strong. So I always suggest buying prop guards because like it's the best thing. Now what I have on here is the ND 128 filter, and I think the reason I have that on here the most is because it be so bright off that water, man. It'd be so bright off that water, like you do not want to be caught out here without it. You feel me? And that's part of dialing in your settings. So if you're like me and you want to keep full control of your settings, right? I'm gonna share my screen with you guys real quick. So like, when you're looking at my screen here, number one, you will see at the bottom right what I have it set at. Me personally, I like to control my shutter. I don't really care about controlling my ISO on this, only because the light is gonna shift and I don't necessarily wanna lose footage based upon the factor of light shifting. It's clouds and stuff like that, so you can't necessarily control it. The only time I would rather control that on this is when it's a quick shift in light. So if I know I'm flying through something where I'm gonna go dark to light, then I will control my ISO. Otherwise, when you're outside, you got the elements that you don't control, you just keep it on auto. I'm telling you, the footage turns out great. When you go into post editing, so I always have everything in D-Log M anyway. So again, I'm gonna show you my screen. And to check your D-Log M, you go to the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner, then you go to camera. When you go to camera, if you see here, it says format MP4, then below it is D-Log M. Now, I know a lot of people complain about D-Log M, or it's not this, and I'm like, it's not pure D-Log. Yo, relax, bro. You just color graded. You know what I'm saying? It's an art. You know what I'm saying? You add in the color that you want on there. So it could be D-Log M, D-Log H, D-Log 7, D-Log 3, 4, 5, 6. It don't matter. It just matters how you fly and what you want to do when you get that bad boy home. You feel me? Man, let's take off, man. I'm tired of talking to y'all. Tired of talking to y'all, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got some good drag today. It's not even pulling too hard. Beautiful. I mean, where else can you get as far as the eye can see? Man. Now, if you saw there, the proximity sensors kicked in on it. That's because it saw that water underneath. Now, I know that's a scary point for some people, like, oh man, you gotta watch your below. Yeah, but that's why they created the technology, right? I think my biggest fear is like to catch a freaking dolphin or something, like jumping up, like, what's that? Boom. Again, like the skyline, bro. Like, we winning with this skyline. I mean, I know there's some nice skylines out there, but we winning. Florida got the dub, and you can't tell me we ain't got the dub. Now, if you're looking on my screen here, you'll see on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, I got 33.7 miles an hour. And then when you look at the screen, it doesn't look like it's moving that fast. And that is the point where you want to make sure that you are totally understanding and under control of your drone, because you don't want to have it where it's moving that fast. You don't understand that, number one. And you're flying it back to yourself, and then you just like belting it, and you don't understand it's getting close, it's getting close, it's getting close. It's moving, okay? Let me prove it. Find some places where people ain't, and we'll belt it on the ground, and I'll show you. That bad boy is moving. Even as it's coming down, you can see. Look. You see? It's moving. Yeah, it's moving, man. I mean, look, I'm outrunning the dude on the bike down there, so you can see it's moving. And there I am. There I am right there. What's up, dude? So when I tell you, man, like your drone flying is a practice, and it is something you have to get good at. Now let's do some active track on some people out here, man, and see what we got. Because you want to use your active track to make it where, put it like this, you want to use your active track to make it where it's advantageous, right, to your drone and like artistic, man. Okay. I want to catch somebody riding a bike though, preferably up this way. Or maybe somebody jogging. There he is. All right, look at my controller. So it shows them. Then you press active track. Oh wait, it says subject lost, meaning I'm too far away from them. Now you try to get up on people and not scare them, but there you go. It says subject lost, I'm too far. This thing is far from perfect. But watch, now I got the active track on. You can move it to the left. Now, when you look at the screen, when I press left, you saw it said strong aircraft interference, AKA wind, right? Now, my biggest suggestion is when you're flying like this, you try to avoid trees. That way you get to a position where you don't lose your subject. Now, the only part about that is when you fly to your right, what will happen? There's a tree right there, trees. But what will happen is this, right? Because you just 57 feet above. So I want to get a little higher. Let's move to our left there. And I'm staying on the far outside. Now, when you look at the screen there, you'll see there's an internal left and there's an external left, right? I try to stay far outside of people to give them their privacy, if you will, if this is privacy, and try to stay far enough away where I'm also capturing scenery, but I have a subject that I'm following. You got what I'm saying? So like, boom, like so. So that way it's not like I'm not capturing scenery and I'm not also following a subject. So the subject is basically helping me in the sense of capturing what I would like to capture. And if I want to move in front of them, I press so. It's going to lose them behind that sign. See? And that's active track for you. So if it loses them, you know, it doesn't have that sensibility just yet to catch them. Back up like so. And even if I hit it from this far, it's going to say that I'm too far from the person. But if you look, I mean, still look at the scenery that you're able to catch. So as you're doing active track on yourself, right? As you're doing active track on yourself, you'll find that it's a good thing, but also it's something that can like come and go based upon what you fly in. I guess the biggest thing that you don't have to worry about is avoidance of obstacles and things of that nature. So you can track yourself through things and have faith that your drone won't just like plug itself down, but it is not necessarily the most perfect thing. Now let's look on the screen. It says my home point was updated. Can't be. So what we'll do is update our home point. Now the way you do that is you hit your top right hand corner of the screen, go to the safety tab. When you go to safety tab, you'll scroll down to update home point right here under auto return to home, auto RTH altitude. You'll hit update home point and you hit on the top right of this map, you hit controller, where your controller is, and boom. Now it's got you updated as far as where your home point is. If you look on the screen there, you see it says on the top left, home point updated. So now it's tracked to where your controller is. So wherever I'm standing right here, it's saying that's exactly where it will land. Now what I like to do is I don't mind returning it home. I'm gonna show you. So let's just say you return it home, and if you look on the screen now, it's got that geo tracker on it that shows the flight path it's gonna take in order to get to you. Now, approaching is a helicopter, so it's automatically staying low. Right? Now say if it was further away and that helicopter wasn't right there, it would go a little bit higher in the air in order to fly down onto the home point. But because there's a manned aircraft above, it follows those rules and stays below that manned aircraft. And what I like to do is once it gets kind of close to me, understanding it's gonna come down, it's above me now. Understanding it's gonna come down, look at the controller there, look at the controller. Now if you're looking down, you see my orange pad, it's over there. Now on the screen, you'll see it has a landing, those little obstacles right there, and you can control it to have it land right there on your landing pad. Oh, also big suggestion for the beach area, when you have your landing pad, keep some sand on the edges to help it stay down in the course of wind. Boom. I know some people might say it might get caught up in the rotors, but if you land it in the center, you should be good to go. And that's it, man. So when it comes down to flying your drones, yeah, you definitely want to have fun, but you also want to put yourself in a position where you're not, you know, causing danger to people and just capture some scenery. Speaking of scenery, take a look at the scenery we're about to catch right now. So we came, we saw, we conquered. We're sweating because it's hot. But as you saw, different maneuvers, different ways of flying. Uh-oh. And my phone's ringing. Like I was saying, different ways of flying, different maneuvers, different things you can do in order to have your drone be as cinematic or as good as you want it to be. Take advantage of those, man. Do everything. And don't be afraid to do what you like within the rules, within the regulations, man. Deuces. Peace, love, and chicken grease.